One key, one lie, and one mistake that could destroy a marriage forever. Because this time, Willow didn't just cross a line, she erased it. General Hospital's Wednesday recap. Willow frames Michael using Tracy's key. It started with a sound no one noticed, the soft clink of metal against marble. Willow froze in the hallway, Tracy Quartermain's key resting cold and heavy in her palm. She hadn't planned to use it, not really, but plans had a way of unraveling when fear took over, and tonight, fear was driving everything. Michael had to take the fall. She told herself it was temporary, just long enough to protect what mattered most, just long enough to keep the truth buried where it belonged. Inside the Quartermain mansion, tension already hung thick in the air. Tracy's study had become the center of a growing mystery. Documents missing, drawers disturbed, and a quiet suspicion spreading through the family like a slow-burning fire. Someone had been inside that room without permission, and Willow intended to make sure everyone believed it was Michael. Earlier that evening, Michael confronted her, not angrily, worse than that. Calm, careful, as if he were already bracing for disappointment. He'd asked questions that danced too close to the truth, and Willow saw it then. If she didn't act, everything would come crashing down. So she acted. Using Tracy's key, borrowed, stolen, justified in her own mind, Willow entered the study alone. She moved with purpose, placing a file where it didn't belong, shifting a drawer just enough to suggest careless hands. Then came the final cruel detail. She wiped the desk clean of her own prints and left behind the faintest trace of Michael's presence. Not evidence, a suggestion. By morning, the damage was done. Tracy noticed immediately. She always did. Her sharp eyes scanned the room, landing on the misplaced file like it personally offended her. Within minutes, questions turned into accusations, and all paths led to one name: Michael. He was stunned when confronted, hurt more than angry. He denied it, of course, but denial sounded weak against circumstantial proof and a family already primed to suspect him. His access, his history, his complicated relationship with control. Willow stood silently nearby, heart pounding, face carefully composed. Every instinct screamed to stop this, to tell the truth before it spiraled further, but then she thought of what would happen if she didn't. Everything she'd fought to protect would be gone. As the day unfolded, the fallout spread fast. Drew tried to mediate, sensing something wasn't right. Tracy doubled down, convinced this betrayal cut deeper because it came from family. And Michael, cornered and confused, started questioning not just the accusation, but the people closest to him, especially Willow. There was something in her eyes when she defended him, something rehearsed, too careful, too perfect. By afternoon, whispers echoed through the mansion, trust fractured, alliances shifted, and Willow realized with growing dread that framing Michael wasn't containing the problem, it was igniting something far more dangerous. Meanwhile, Tracy did what she always did when crossed. She investigated. She reviewed security logs, checked timelines, not for Michael, she already believed she knew his guilt, but for herself. And that's when she noticed something, the key. Her key. It hadn't been where she left it. The realization hit like ice water. If Michael hadn't used it, then who had? Back in the living room, Michael finally snapped, not in anger, but in heartbreak. He demanded to know why no one believed him, why the people he trusted most seemed so ready to assume the worst. His eyes landed on Willow again, searching for reassurance, and for just a second her resolve cracked. That was when Tracy spoke, quietly, precisely. She announced that the key used to access the study wasn't Michael's, it was hers. The room fell silent. All eyes turned, first to Tracy, then to Willow. Willow felt the walls closing in. She scrambled for an explanation, but words failed her. The lie she'd constructed so carefully began to unravel thread by thread. Tracy's gaze sharpened, curiosity shifting into something colder, suspicion. Michael stepped back, understanding dawning with devastating clarity. The betrayal wasn't theoretical anymore, it was standing right in front of him. Willow opened her mouth to explain, to justify, to beg for understanding, but the moment had passed. Whatever she'd hoped to save by framing Michael was already slipping through her fingers. And worse, she had underestimated Tracy Quartermain. By the end of the day, nothing was resolved, but everything was changed. Trust lay in ruins, secrets hovered dangerously close to exposure, and Willow realized too late that using Tracy's key hadn't just framed Michael, it had unlocked consequences she might never escape.